Hi, my name is Brittany, and today I'm going to go over the major points of the Age of Reason, also known as the Enlightenment. Now, before we dive straight in, let's go over the four major belief systems that emerged during this time: rationalism, skepticism, deism, and empiricism. Rationalism is the belief focused more on reason, and it questioned the trustworthiness of other ways of thinking over reason. With this, it denied religious beliefs and emotional responses as other ways of thinking. Skepticism derives from the doubt in truth. This new idea has enormous implications during this age of thinking. It caused more people to be skeptical of religion, it challenged different ideas on race superiority, and it challenged different ideas on the correct system of government, which ultimately still hasn't been decided today, for the amount of different forms of government around the world. The main person you should think of is Pierre Bayle, who was a skeptic during this time, who concluded Descartes' conclusion on truth was false. Deism derives from the belief in God. This belief was not atheism, nor was it Christianity. This new belief was oriented on an impersonal clockmaker God, who created the world but has now left it to operate on its own accord, like a clockmaker and its clock. Empiricism was the belief of knowledge based solely on the five senses, which were sight, sound, touch, taste, and scent, and was considered a foundation of science. You should think of Bacon when you hear this, because he sought truth through empiricism. Now, during the course of the Enlightenment, a group of intellectuals of the time, otherwise known as the philosophers, believed that they brought the light of knowledge to the people. Now, pay attention real close here, because there are a lot of important people, and I'm going to go through them very quickly. Bernard de Fontenelle was a creative author whose goal was to make science entertaining to a non-scientific audience. He succeeded in his goal in 1686 with his publication of Conversations on the Plurality of Worlds. Thomas Hobbes believed that people were born naturally cruel, and as cruel people, we need a strict government to control our behavior. He also believed that an absolute monarchy is the correct form of government. His ideas were published in his book, The Leviathan. Now, a man named John Locke had an opposite viewpoint. Unlike Thomas Hobbes, he believed that people were born naturally blank, aka tabula rasa, and that our behavior is an effect to our surrounding environment. This caused him to believe that a limited government, such as an oligarchy, is the correct form of government. Montesquieu was a philosopher who studied different forms of government, such as republics, monarchies, and despotisms. In result to his studies, he resolved that the best form of government would include a separation of powers among the executive, judicial, and legislative branches of power, with all of them serving as a check to each other to balance power among the three. Voltaire was a philosopher whose works exemplified freedom of speech by challenging supported ideas and being exiled because of his works and ideas, and unlike Montesquieu, he supported a strong monarchy. Diderot was an editor of the 28-volume set of the Encyclopedia, and its purpose was to change the general way of thinking. He accomplished this through philosophy, government, and religion. However, this book was soon banned by the Catholic Church because the book suggested ideas that went against what was supported by the government and the Church. David Hume was a Scottish religious skeptic who believed that human reason cannot identify verification on questions that were not based on human experience. Rousseau believed that humans' natural innocence was corrupted by society, especially by inequality, and that society placed too many limitations on behavior. He laid out his ideas of the general will of the people through his social contract. Immanuel Kant was the greatest German philosopher of his time, and he believed the Enlightenment would follow the path of serious thinkers if given the freedom to express their reason. In 1784, he published What is Enlightenment? Sapere audet, dare to know. In 1735, Carl von Linne published System of Nature, which in it he stated that the nature was organized into a God-given hierarchy and that human races were placed into a similar hierarchy. And of course, he placed his European race at the top of the racial hierarchy. Finally, Comte de Buffon argued that the human race was originally one race, and that one race later evolved into multiple different races and result to different climates. Did you catch all that? Rewind the video if you need to go back. I know that was quick. As we come to the end for the Enlightenment, let's look at salons and the reading revolution. No, before you ask, the salons I'm talking about are not where you get yourself pampered. Rather, this is a place where the elite and talented Enlightenment thinkers could meet and discuss different beliefs. This is a place where women had power during this time. Women essentially were the hostesses of salons. Moving on, the reading revolution was a huge shift during this age. Basically, the activity of reading transitioned from being a celebrated gathering where people read aloud to an individual reading rapidly and silent. I know this was a handful, and I really hope you guys learned some info on the Enlightenment through this. Again, my name is Brittany. Thanks for watching!